Hello there. In the Star Wars universe, there are a lot of weird looking aliens. Like, for example, a 6 foot tall green rabbit? Everyone, meet Jaxxon. In 1977, around when the original film came out, Marvel started up a series of Star Wars comic books, which featured the characters from the movie going on new adventures. In the February 1978 issue, Han Solo and Chewbacca met a brand new character, Jaxxon. This tall green bunny, referred to himself as a lepus carnivorous, was a smuggler hired by Han and Chewie, along with a few other less than savory new characters, to defend a village from pirates. Hijinks, as they so often do, ensued. Jaxxon had a bit of an overconfident attitude and was quick with a sassy comment. But he also proved himself to be a competent fighter, with speed, acrobatics, powerful kicks, and deadly accuracy with his twin blasters. Over the course of a few issues, Jaxxon helped the heroes win the day, even if he was just doing it for the paycheck. A few issues later, in October of 1978, Jaxxon appeared again. Then, after that, Jaxxon just up and disappeared. Jaxxon was based on Bugs Bunny, to the point that his name was even a play on Jaxxon, a nickname that Bugs often used in his cartoons to address strangers when he didn't know the real names. To play up this connection even further, two of the bounty hunters who caught up to Jaxxon in his final issue were named Daffy and Fudd, references to Daffy Duck and Elmer Fudd. According to Roy Thomas, one of the creators of the character, George Lucas hated Jaxxon. When Archie Goodwin took over the comic series, Lucas told him to never use that green bunny again. Hey man, he said it, not me. After that, Jaxxon basically vanished from existence for a few decades or so. Then, in 2001, he was brought back in Star Wars Gamer, a reference magazine for the Star Wars tabletop role-playing game. In this article, he was given a species, Leppy, and a homeworld, Coachelle. This was another direct homage to Bugs Bunny, taken from a cartoon in which he asked for directions to the Coachella Valley. Jaxxon has always been a bit divisive in the Star Wars fandom. Many fans don't like him, feeling that he's just too silly. I know, right? Who could possibly think that a giant green carnivorous bunny who talks about space carrots and the Holy Hutch and flies a ship called the Rabbit's Foot is silly? He's been called one of the goofiest additions to the expanded universe, the most infamous addition to the EU, and he only received 2% of the vote when fans were asked which EU character they'd love to see cameo in the prequel films. Though, interestingly, he did rate highly in a poll asking which characters fans wanted to see made into action figures. However, many Star Wars authors really like Jaxxon and appreciate that he does represent the sillier side of the Star Wars universe. Pablo Hidalgo, a senior creative executive with Lucasfilm, has been vocal about his fondness for the character, and he was one of the writers who brought Jaxxon back for that Star Wars Gamer magazine article. He's also the one credited with adding Jaxxon's species and homeworld names into the mix. Jason Aaron, a writer for the more recent Star Wars Marvel comic series, has stated that he wanted to canonize Jaxxon. And Cavan Scott, author of several Star Wars novels and stories, and of the Star Wars Adventures comics by IDW, has claimed that Jaxxon is one of his favorite characters. Which is probably why, since his reappearance, Jaxxon has slowly been making the leap from legends and into canon. And over the past several years, there have been a handful of mentions, nods, and background sightings across various Star Wars media. He also hopped his way into a larger role in the 2018 annual issue of the Star Wars Adventures comic, and then appeared in stories for both the 2019 and 2020 annuals, as well as in a few regular issues of the series. And he was featured in an issue of the Hyperspace Stories comic series in 2023. Plus, he's the main character of Fake It Till You Make It by the aforementioned Cavan Scott in the From a Certain Point of View, The Empire Strikes Back short story anthology. It was here that he even gained a full name, Jaxxon T. Tumperakki, during a brief adventure on Cloud City during the events of The Empire Strikes Back. And while the Lego Star Wars shows on Disney Plus aren't actually canon, they did just announce a new Rebuild the Galaxy miniseries coming in September of this year. And, oh, look who that is. Since his return, Jaxxon has had adventures that include crossing paths with Princess Leia, Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, and more. And he even became a pilot in the New Republic. He's still a sassy smuggler, and though he claims he's just in it for the credits, more often than not, he ends up doing the right thing when given the chance. Will Jaxxon ever become a bigger part of the Star Wars canon? Who's to say? But he definitely has some big names hoping to work him in as much as possible. So there you have it. The story of Jaxxon, one of the first non-film characters to appear in a Star Wars project, who earned the ire of George Lucas, then vanished for many years, and has since managed to claw his way out of relative obscurity and return to the Star Wars universe. And who knows where he may pop up next. May the Force and the Space Carrots be with you.